Well guys, this is something a bit different. I'm down here, I'm sort of mildly in shock. I'm looking at the Hampshire Avon. Now I'd done years and years back in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, fishing on Hampshire Avon down on in Christchurch. So it's a reasonable sized river, and I'm looking at here, and this is at Manningford Trout Fishery. Okay, so they got, which I will take you around in a minute, they got all the lake fishing as well. How can this be the Hampshire Avon? It's a lovely setting it's here, look at that. So apparently got a couple of miles of it. It's lovely and clear, just in a tiny little fish shoot off there. So this is something different. I've never been here before, never fished it, don't know this area at all. And we're going to have a walk around the lakes. Very busy, a lot of anglers here, and see what we can find out. So it's something different. If I catch a trout, it's almost going to be a bonus today. Probably be a little bit tough, but bright weather, and you know, it's nice to be out, isn't it? And I haven't done trout fishing for some time, as you guys know. Right, let's crack on. Well, I've come down to one corner of the main lake. I've seen one big brown, got a slight smokiness in the water, but you can see them swimming past. Loads of anglers, so that tells you there's some decent fishing here. I'm just creeping up on a nice big jetty here. I've seen one go past out there. It's slightly shallow over that way, I don't know. It's all new to me, you see, so I don't know. And then down there that's quite good, but deeper. Looks like I'll have to check with Stuart, who runs it. It's deeper down there, I feel, and maybe shallower up this end. So it's just a question of walking and looking, and see if I can pick one fish out here. Now they've got a catch and release lake further up, apparently. I'm going to go walk around there and find that. And well, basically I'm going to be searching all the time now because I don't know where the holding areas are. But it's called a glister, I think it is, with a little sparkle on it. It's tied by the late Sydney. He tied loads of flies for different anglers and stuff, and I've still got some left, and I'm going to be using those first. It's got bead, tungsten bead head, goes down, got a 6 pound maximum line, floating line. I like the line, I don't like the reel. The reel is, it's got 78 on it, I don't know, Cobra, a little bit heavy. It's got an adjustable drag tension at the back here. Quite high speed, I think it is, this one. I don't like the high speed gear, and I've got to be honest, but that's a fish. So you tell us suddenly we're from zero straight into fishing mode then. Sorry about that, guys. So floating line, I've got 9 feet of leader there. Always check around you when you're casting, you know, just to make sure you don't see a fish like I did then. You go, boom, straight up the tree behind you, because you've got so engrossed in looking where the fish are that you're not watching. There's another fish out there. You're not watching your back cast and side cast and stuff like that. I did hear online, it said they do come around the edges, so it's sort of circular route. They follow around the edges, so even though there's nothing moving through, it might pay you just to stand and wait and watch. But lovely spot, as I say, lovely spot where it is. It's a place called Pewsey, basically up and down the A303, come off the A303, and I don't know, 15 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes up the road, you come to the Manningford fishery. But the main thing is check with Stuart when you get here, and he'll generally point you in the right direction. I'm going to have a little throw around here for a while because I was a bit rusty with the casting. Being as they're known to come around the margins, I can't cast here that way because the trees and bushes are all there. But what you can do is a roll cast, which will say be starting out there, and you bring it in like this, and you can work away, gradually shortening that angle. You can just stick it to the surface and lift it off, punch it, and it unrolls, and it's called the roll cast. So I'm going now, getting closer and closer to the margins. That's it. Now I can retrieve along the margins and I don't get snagged on the back cast. My gut feeling is, guys, I'm going to do really fast sink fly because the ones I've seen swimming are swimming fast. But even though I lead them by say 6 or 7 feet, they're going so fast that they're past the fly. The fly's up here and they're down there, so I might have to go for fast sink. Well, I've moved lakes now. I've come up to Squires Lake, which is a catch and release one. Got a bit of weed on the surface, like a blanket weed. So I'm just going to have a walk around here. It sort of goes around in a bit of a curve there. See if we can't pull a fish out here. There are fish on that big lake, but I can't catch them. I've only seen a couple caught at the moment. Swimming very, very fast. There's a nice cooling breeze blowing on this side, so to keep me a bit more jungly. Oh, brambles. Look, 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 you've got to love them, haven't you? We're still on the catch and release lakes. It looks very tenchy. it looks like it should be tension here. I haven't seen anything move yet. A couple of small ones. And bits of weed on the surface. Clear over there. Oh, wait a minute, there's a little bit of movement there. Can you see that? There's a nice clear area over there. I'm always moaning about the wind, but it makes you appreciate that when it's sheltered with trees like this, and you've got a bit of weed coming on the surface, actually that probably a good bit of breeze will push all this surface weed into one corner. It does two things. It lets you fish the clear area, and of course a lot of times the trout will get under those mats of weed for shelter, and you can fish along the edge of them and pick fish up. At the moment, although it's catch and release, the release is safe because I haven't done the catching. Fancying that corner. Well, no catch on the catch and release. Oh, the gentleman fishing over there, I haven't seen him catching anything. But it is a very hot day, a sort of untrouty day. Lovely weather, but it could be too hot for the trout. I think I'm going to go back to the main lake, have a look there. Very pretty lake, this one there. I'm just having a walk along, looking at the river. Stuart said have a run down there, walk right through, got a lot of it anyway, so I might have a walk along there because the lakes are quiet. Tiny little trout in here. Do get some big ones in here, sort of, I suppose 2-pounders. That's catch and release. You won't see the little ones down there. What I call sort of day size. Another look look at one of these. It's all very, very shallow all through here. And of course there's not much rain, so I'm guessing either need more rain or you've got to go along looking for deeper pools. Even down up through there I can see either Graeme or trout. It might be a bit shallow here for fly fishing. Well, finally guys, got one hooked up. Lost another one, and a really small black fly. If I get it in, I've taken the cogs off the ratchet here. There for the stagings and the rubbish, and he's going to get in the rubbish, I feel. For you there, that's about as good as I can get today. Still wants to go left for some reason. Right, hopefully we're in the open water now. Hopefully. I think there's every chance this one might come off. Wow, he's certainly getting a scrap. It's just a really slow crawling retrieve. Yeah, this one's a rainbow, but there is a big brown cruising around there. Here we go. Save the blank, we're a nice fish as well. The condition this one is, I'll show you in a second. Oh, there we go. That's almost like a steelhead that I caught in British Columbia, that one, look at it. Nice big full tail, no warm fins. Just it doesn't look much obviously, but it's a tiny weighted black fly. I can remember Sid Knight tied me a sort of black ant once, and said try those well, and they're really good. It had a black head, probably tungsten head. It's black. Not going to get a great picture because I haven't got a tripod or anything like that, but there we go. First fish from Manningford. I take the hat off. Oh, I'm sweating today. It's a very untrouty day, I have to say. Fish probably 3.5, 4 pounds. There you go. Well pleased with that, my goodness me, done enough casting. They just suddenly, I just saw one, just saw his mouth nip, he just came up in the water and went nip like they're taking buzzers. And I changed and changed and changed, and finally I got a blind take, didn't see it take at all. I'm happy with that. As they say, it goes, get in. Well, get in the net. I've got another one, guys, hooked up. That's pretty weird, isn't it? All that casting with different type of flies, and finally you find something they want. I should really put the ratchet back together, but I'm not halfway through the fish fighting it. So I'll just go on as it is, just smooth. Absolute, you can see that there, absolute fat bar of silver. Hopefully you get that coming out okay on the camera. I've got another one hooked up on that same fly. Slow retrieve. I just felt a very, very slight pull, but this one might be brownie. It is indeed a brownie. So we'll get you some shots out of water. Good old Sid Knight's flies. Years old, still working. Check that out. That is absolute beauty. Don't lose it. There we go, got some lovely markings on it. Nice full tail there. And there's that little fly just in the scissors there. It's nice seeing someone catch a fish even if you're not catching them yourself. Well, just lucky really. Well, it doesn't get any better than getting a brace like this. The brown, well, the brown's the icing on the cake, and apparently here on the fishery they've got a lot of browns going in, some big ones too. I'm going to have one of the fishery, that one's got a feather on him. I fished this spot because it's all duck mess there, and I don't think anybody else wants to fish there. I don't have a problem with mess if it's getting me trout. So there you go, super catch. Wow, not bad for your first session on a new fishery. Beautiful. You can eat these, you can get them smoked, fillet them, cutlets, whatever you want to do with them. Smoking is what a lot of anglers do nowadays. But look at this brownie. Great catch, first time out. I actually got to use the scales on the first day on a new fishery. Well, that was brilliant bit of fishing, I enjoyed that. Look, I figure I was lucky in some respects for getting the 3 out of the one area, but then I was working away, continually changing flies, watching what the fish were doing, and all I did, I saw one trout just go bump. All I saw, one snap. That's generally a sign they're taking something like buzzers. It was up near the surface. And then I went down small. Once I used that old Sydnite. Well done Sid, the late Sydnite, told me some really good flies. This sort of weighted black ant, I think we called it, was really good, but it didn't, it's got like a tungsten head, but it's black. So I've been talking to Stuart, and what I'm going to do is have a walk down the river. I'm not going to bother fishing it because it's really a state-of-the-art light tackle, 4 weights, not easy fishing. You can't just walk off with the big 9-foot heavy rods and expect to catch, you were telling me. So I'm going to have a walk, and this is just to see what is down here. So you look at things like pools, you can fish. Nice deep pool there, there'll be trout in there. I can see all small ones shooting around, what I call day size. But this has got to be tough, and that's why I think they do allow some wading in stretches. Obviously I'm walking downstream, which you'd never normally do on a river because the fish is facing upstream. So he's looking at me as I come down here. I frighten him, he bolts downstream. As he bolts downstream, he crashes into a load of others, wakes them all up, and everybody's awake and goes, oh, there's a fisherman here. So just remember that. If you're going to fish, you fish upstream. You can do wet fly downstream, but listen, you're not going to do much casting here. And I guess, you know, a lot of it, if it's overgrown like this, is wading. You can get in there with waders. Some deep pools here. Well, I say deep, deeper. If you had a sort of 1.5-pound fish, you'd expect that to be a good fish here. I'll show it to you. There's a little spot here somebody's fished. Weeds just starting to show, and the gravel's there, you can see lovely and clear. There's a nice bend there. So that's all new to me. I've never been up this way before, ever in my life. Yeah, I'm looking at one that's about 1.5 pounds down there. I suppose I could stick this under, but I think it's very dark. So here's a deep hole there. There's quite a few fish, around 1/2 pound or so in there. It's nook and cranny fishing, but by golly, you'd better know how to cast with a 4-weight rod, a short 4-weight rod. So I've come below the road bridge there, so I'm downstream of the fishery. Water's a little bit deeper, and I can join here. There's another point down there I can come and look at. It's quite narrow there, faster pace. Nice deep pool here, so I'm going to have a wander up here and just see what I can see. Fabulous countryside. It's so quiet, it's unbelievable. Kites up there, it's a lovely spot. Work your way down here. There's a sort of classic approach, looking upstream all through here. Well, I can actually see the benefit and enjoyment people get of just walking along the riverbank as well, regardless whether you actually catch fish, because I imagine they're pretty hard to catch in here. Probably a lot of it would be afternoon fishing or first thing in the morning. But look where I am. What a setting. Nice little channel up here. It gets narrow again. put it up there, you should get a better perspective of everything. Oh, that's lovely. All the stream of weed coming through there. Well, even though I didn't get to fish that little river, it does give you some sense of hope that there's some pure river fishing left, that they haven't messed up sewage and all that business. It's just nice to see that, you know, clear water. Yes, shallow, I know that shallow, we haven't had much rain, but it's just nice to think, do you know what, that might be replicated further downstream with barbel, chub, pike, roach, bream and everything in big deep water that I used to know 50, 60 years ago. Dream on, Graeme. But you've got to live in hope, haven't you? So next is the random section where I go looking at a very large country estate, absolutely enormous, had some monumental ironwork gates. You have to try and visualise of the British engineering that went into making those gates. And of course, it was all built, a lot of these places, some ballpark 1700s, and the building itself, I can't tell you, it is enormous, absolutely long, narrow building. The blocks in there, I want to say tens of thousands of blocks there must be, but it's impressive to see. But can you imagine the men that had to work, maybe no forklift trucks, maybe a bit of good old hard labour to get those blocks up to 3 stories. It's enormous. So walking outside the house, having seen the kitchen, there's a really nice big lake here. I've no idea, it was built by Capability Brown, I think it says. And I generally find that it's quite a shallow estate lake, so I don't know if it goes deep. Looks like a dam at the far end. Pretty good colour, I have to say, it looks very tenchy, very tenchy. And I also think there might be pike, I've no idea. But it's a big lake. Obviously in this area it's going to be a no fishing zone, but you know, you've got to walk up and have a look off the end here just in case there's something, a big pike laying there and waiting to pounce. Here's the place I'd like to be fishing, just in there off the top. I could lean my rods up. I've fan casted about 10 rods at least, a bit like boat fishing. Continues on down here as well. What? I'm telling you, there's a sort of tinge of colour in the water there. I'm not sure what that weed is. There's one of those. Is that one of those invasive ones that they've got? Is it on the River Mole or somewhere? Like a floating watercress type weed. 700 acres, the entire estate. And I imagine down there was the boathouse, so presumably they did do fishing as well. Well, we've reached the top of what I call the hill. It is a hill, bit of a climb up there. But goodness me, you can see the panoramic view from up here and get an idea of how the estate was laid out. At a vast expanse. Just say to the wife, a good lady, it looks a bit like when we used to do safaris and you're up on the lodge looking down over water holes and way in the distance, or indeed out in Arizona where we used to go striped bass fishing and you've got the sort of prairie lands and all the Grand Canyon rocks and all that stuff. It's impressive when you do get to see it. I'm still seeing no fish rise. I come down a bit, you'll get a guide of how long the lake goes. We didn't even walk up the end of there, it goes all the way down. Huge big plains area there. And then pan back and then through there house through there. It's not till you actually see some people walk right down there, you realise the scale of perspective that you get. Somebody say 5 feet 8, 6 feet 4, whatever it is, 94 feet high. You can see the size of them down there. A lot of Canada geese, which luckily aren't in my swim. Maybe I'm looking at like the biggest type of horse chestnut, a species of horse chestnut. It's huge. It's so huge. Wait for this. I can go right inside. I mean, it doesn't fall down on me. I can go right inside it. Look at that, guys, if you can see that. Absolutely. How does it survive? Absolutely huge. I've never been inside a tree as large as this. Battered, weather worn, is still going strong. Huge. And the one next to it's pretty much the same. Servants' quarters upstairs. It is just getting cafe and that up there. And just look at the length of that hallway. My goodness me. It's the same upstairs as well, don't forget, because it's a 2-storey building. 1,000 pieces of copper. You clean every one, I hope.
Well, I
yeah.
They do get cleaned every year, yes. So the different periods, that's about 1920. That's what we call Glover, black and lager. This one here is a gas, that's 1880, when we used to make our own gas in coal gas.
What would this one have been?
This
Just
is
a wash.
called a bain-marie. In other words, it's for keeping sauces warm.
Oh, really?
So you open the tap, let in water, and you've got a certain level of water in there, and you then open the valves on the front.
So the water will cover up those, will it come halfway up those?
No, that goes for draining. So you open the valve and that'll let the water, the steam in.
Oh, I see.
So steam comes from the room next door, along that pipe you see up on the wall. Up
Yeah.
there, on the left.
Oh, here, over there, yeah, yeah.
It goes down into the 3 vegetable steamers, those copper steamers.
Yes.
Then comes underneath the shelf into the warming cabinet,
Yeah.
which is the big black thing here. Then under the floor to the bain-marie.
Well, it's a big cooking area, certainly. This would be like pine or something, would it, this wood, or a hardwood?
Yes, I'm not sure what wood it is. Also, I think something like the old.
Kitchen big enough for you, then? It's huge, isn't it?
Do you have any questions?
Oh, it's got some of Graham's cooking here going on. Well, this is big, isn't it? I've got loads of cogs and pulleys and everything to raise the meats and stuff up and down on the heat.
Last war, but only partly because we had some children evacuated from London. So the children would stay up in the rooms above and the servants' quarters.
Well, look at the size of this.
The last time it was used properly as a real proper kitchen was during the 1800s, the glorious years, when they had the big feasts here, the big banquets here.
This one's gas. It's the old gas burners there. That's what I call something to ice a cake with.
Yes, yes.
I imagine that's an icing one, is that?
I had a little boy the other day thought it was for swinging your ears.
Oh dear. With the diameter of the pipes. Still there, Royal Dalton. The size of my hand against the size of the tray and the ladles. And they put a whole animal on that spit there to rotate that. Some form of heating oven there. Get the old consumer board and the telephone, the hotline to the gentry. I'm guessing this is a game prep room where they prepare everything. What's it on? Partridge? Somebody tell me. Shooting people tell me, is this a partridge? It's not actually in a pear tree. This is a male and female pheasant, which I do know. Looks like sugar. Some form of cooking oil and vegetables. So this would be main prep area. I know this, I used to sell those years and years ago. I had a couple I kept myself when I did the old antiques. That's a knife sharpener. And I've used one of these for mincing up the sharp bait, trout and the likes. So obviously heats the water up in the header tank up there, comes back down, I can't tell if it's hot or cold, but either that's hot and then comes down or this heats up. I'm going to say this heats up because it's copper. The copper holds the heat. These are all tinned, we got a couple at home and they put tinning around the outside. I've no idea what this is, but they are absolutely enormous taps. Some form of heating system with water gauge here. That's a stoke in it like a boiler. I guess that takes the fire. Maybe this is the boiler that heats everything and they have a fire in there. Oh, and it goes up through a system. What do they use those for? They're big, aren't they? Just like a pair. Frying, I suppose they did do frying there. I've got all the measurements on. 11, 10, 12. You don't know why they put the tinning on the inside of the copper.
Yes, well copper is poisonous. If you boil
Oh, you can't cook in straight copper.
Pardon?
You can't cook in the straight copper.
No, you have to put a coating of tin.
Tin, yeah.
Which,
We've got the lightest room here, so far we've been here.
Oh, yeah.
Nice light room. This is a baking oven here. And you can see they do all their baking there with these sticks and bake. And not with flame. I've seen this before because I did a baking one from our old vintage place. And it's the heat from the bricks that actually does the baking heat. So that's their oven. Guessing maybe they load it down there, I don't know. So this room is the baking room, as you can see over there. Everywhere, every piece you could ever want for baking. It's on a wood top here. The gentleman seemed to think that was ash, but apparently it's cold here. This slab is marble so that you can roll your pastry and it doesn't stick. We'd have a small thin sheet. There's a great big clonking piece of marble cold and a massive amount of all the pattern pastries you could make. Anything you could ever want there. All the different, and I guess those are straight tin ones. Those you can do that, so you can see they would do all the pastry work in here. Yes, and they come straight out to the baking oven here. So the two are close together. Oh, it makes me feel hungry. This is the preparation of marmalades and jam, whatever I'm calling it. All the preserves. Teas. Gunpowder's up there. Black tea. Green tea. I'm assuming a lot of this comes from India. And all the pickled and preserved bits and bobs that they have back then. Somebody's not finished their toast over there. Again, like a giant sort of range over there for keeping hot water going all the time, I'd imagine. And quite cool in there because it's all flagstone floor. You've got to marvel at what they must have been producing in those kitchens. I mean, catering for the landed gentry inside and their subsequent guests, perhaps royalty, who knows. But it would have been quite spectacular, I would think. Meanwhile, back at the Totally Awesome Fishing HQ, GP was doing his own culinary standards. Yes, quite low. Just finishing off a barbecue. Well, that's gone down. Just had a barbecue, cleaned it all off. Had a barbecue with the wife. Did that come out right? Well, no, I didn't have a barbecue with the wife. I didn't put it on the barbecue. But I was sitting there, I was going to get the air rifle out and have a bit of target practice. And I looked up and I thought, oh, those in the oak tree, are they wasps' nests? There's like wood wasp, oak wasp. So I'm going to go up. I thought I'm going to shoot some of those, but I feel the pellet will go right through them. So see if I can get one down. They're like everywhere. So here's an oak tree, and there's an oak tree, and they're not on that one, and they're on this one. So what's that all about? I've got the ladder. I'm going up, up, up. I hope there isn't a wasp inside there. There's one. Let's go down and have a look at it, investigate. This is all in the aid of Graeme and science. And no doubt you guys as well. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there go, oh, I know what that is, Graeme, you don't know what it is, this is so-and-so, so-and-so. I don't know what it is. There's loads of them up there. What are they? Beautiful evening, I have to say, beautiful. But listen, when I look at it, the leaves have all been chewed here. Can you see that? They've all been chewed. So let's just do a bit of surgical procedure here and take a look at it. There's no immediately apparent in and out hole. That's weird, isn't it? Let's see if we can. Oh, I probably could have shot that. What on earth is it? Right. I've cut it in half. Oh, let's find the other half. Can you see that, guys? I don't know. I don't see any creature in there. Is it that was an acorn from last year and it's gone peculiar and had some disease? Can any of you arboriculturalists or tree people tell me? This is all soft and pappy, a bit like a soft wasp nest. Not that I've handled many wasp nests, you understand. I don't see any creatures in there. I'll cut it apart without cutting my finger off, hopefully. What is that? There's nothing in there, is there? So, I could have had a bit of target practice with those, and indeed will do. Anybody let me know what they are? They go, wait for this. all the way up the tree, all the way up. So are they acorns that have got deformed or something? I don't know. Somebody out there, please let us know in the comments page. So there I was, walking around on this footpath, looking at the Hampshire countryside. Yes, during the winter I'd been up to Mike's, one of his woodlands, and I've been working up there, picking up some logs for the log burner, sawing, hacking, chopping, and it's quite a scene, isn't it? You know, the English countryside, and especially Hampshire, because that's my home county. Slightly spoiled, I suppose. And I saw all these people standing on a bridge. Well, it's not a fishing bridge, is it? What on earth is going on? Look at them. Everybody's looking for a choo-choo. Well, I'm looking up and down the railway line. I know that they do a vintage one there. But I just thought, is there something special going on? Should I stop? And indeed I did stop. Because if you do photography, you don't want to miss anything, do you? So I parked the car up as best possible, which is on a dangerous bend, and had a look. Is that diesel and it runs on electric inside or? Oh, I see, so it's not just a diesel engine, it's like a... And that creates electric, does it? So they're what, 1960s or something like that, wouldn't it? Well, thanks for watching this episode. I enjoyed that trout fishing, I have to say. I haven't done that for a while, but it all came flooding back. It's a bit like riding a bike, isn't it? You know, once you've done it, you can get back on it again. Thank goodness I've still got some of the old flies in the fly boxes. Like most anglers, I have got 4,000 or 5,000 flies, I should think, and I end up using and catching on 2, 3, 4, maybe 4. I've tried 6, say, something like that, till you find the one they want. So we'll see you in the next episode. Throw out some random stuff as well. I'll have a dig around and see what I've got. I've got plenty left. Don't forget to go and see Mike's TA Outdoors and TA Fishing's site. Hit that subscribe button if you want. Hit the like button. Don't forget, if you want to know when stuff comes up, hit the notification bell. No, I don't know how it works either. And then check out Mike's Life and Mike channel, doing bits and pieces over there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you hopefully next week.